Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas and I have the pleasure of welcoming Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh for this week. Namaste, Dr. Sahab.
Namaskar.
Sir, Dr. Sahab, I want to begin by congratulating you once again on being the recipient of Lifetime Achievement Award by Indo-American Press Club, and the event was very well attended. Let's look at the recollection from that event with you.
I think Lifetime Achievement Award is actually very well. I mean, it is an award where what people, those who are honoring you, they are saying that whatever you did, it's a great thing you did, but you have so many other things, more things to do, and that's the message. And always, once you get a Lifetime Achievement Award, is not the award where you just sit home and enjoy, but it's award to make sure that you now work double speed and double energy.
Absolutely, and you are not one of those who would sit on their laurels, and you continue to inspire and work. Now, looking at your role as chairman of Parikh Worldwide Media and ITV Gold, and looking at the 75th Amrit Mahotsav being observed by Bharat, how do you foresee the role that media, our media as well as in general, media should be playing at this hour?
Well, I think this 75th celebration of the India's independence is very important, and all media should play, whether it's even Indian media or international media, should play and should contribute to projecting India's 75 years of journey, India's successful journey. And it came from, it's a story of the rag to riches kind of story. And in 75 years, India becomes third largest economy of the world. And that kind of thing, all the media, particularly our media, should do that. And I'm very pleased to say that so far in Consulate, they have done almost over 100 events of under the leadership of the Consul General of India, and all the events we have covered as a cover story, and we have showed to the North America as a important significance community news. So we are up to the mark. We are with them, and we are very privileged, and we are very happy that we are part of this celebration.
Absolutely, and as we talk about 75th Independence Year of Bharat, looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Japan, his address to Japanese based people of Indian origin, talk to me about the general energy that is emerging from his visit.
Yeah, I think this Quad visit and particularly our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is be part of that Quad group. It's a very proud moment for the India. And as we know that our Prime Minister is very vibrant, very energetic, and very versatile, and that makes the whole thing much more dynamic. And so we are very proud of our Prime Minister, and this meeting is very important meeting, because through this meeting what USA, Australia, Japan and India is saying that we are kind of an important player in Indo-Pacific Rim, and even USA also part of the Pacific Rim, and India is also part of the Pacific Rim. So they are giving the message to the China that you have to deal with us, and in the trade and supply and all sorts of things, and make sure that China should not venture out to do what Russia did with the Ukraine.
So there are many cautious steps that Japan is taking, and while we come back to the joint declaration between India and Japan, coming back to Prime Minister Narendra Modi connecting with masses. And I think he is the first Indian leader who have given so much, if I say, importance, or has brought non-resident Indians into focus. There is a kind of an emotional connect that he manages to build wherever he goes. Talk to me about your own
I agree with you. I agree with you, because wherever he goes, I mean, his hallmark or his signature event always doesn't matter is a 1-day meeting or 3 days meeting or 1 week meeting. He always meets diaspora. He always mingle with the diaspora. Even when he was here in Quad meeting last 6 months ago, I was one of the person who went to his hotel when he was leaving for India, and he shook the hand with almost everybody, and he recognized people very, I mean, personally. He told me that, how are you, doctor, how are you doing? So, and keep up lage raho. It means he knows that there are people who are really working for India, and he was kind of appreciating that and inspiring us.
Absolutely. And while Japan and India share historical and cultural common features, which were also highlighted, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioned a few areas and projects where Japan has contributed in India. But let us look at the new height which Indo-US relationship seems to have attained with recent meeting between President Biden and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And as we were discussing before the show about the initiative on critical and emerging technologies between India and America, how significant you think this initiative is likely to be?
It's very, very important and very significant. That shows that America, USA has started playing very active role in Asia and Pacific area, because before USA was only was playing the role when there is any calamity or there is any emergency and so forth. Now USA wants to be kind of hands-on on the Pacific, Asian Pacific area, to counterbalance the aggression of the China and Russia. And I think it's a welcome news, and I think this is very much important. Though it's not like a NATO alliance, but it is we can say that it is more or less same as NATO alliance for economic development of the Asia and the Pacific region.
Yeah. And the kind of threats that we in the new world face involves cyber attacks. So considering the way China is playing its cards and its aggressive stand, probably this added collaboration between India and America in the field of technology may also be one step to counter the threat from China.
So I think this whole idea is, bottom line is, in one sentence, I would say that this is to America wants their presence in the Asia and Pacific region to counteract or counterbalance Chinese aggressive behavior and aggressive, mainly the aggressive behavior and the aggressive encroachment into the other countries' land.
Let's go back to India and look at the highlights of which is capturing most of the newspapers, etc. relates to what is happening in Varanasi and this Gyanvapi Masjid or Mandir, and the preliminary survey findings suggesting that there is a Shivling, and so there are multiple views which are coming. Some people are ecstatic, some people are apprehensive. What is your take, and do you see this is a part of the politics, or do you see this is a part of the due process? Because there are some people who reached out to the court and then they were given this permission.
Well, I mean, everyone has right to know the history. So it is good to know the history that there is a masjid right now and there was a temple there, many 3,000 years old temple or whatever. So, in that respect, yes, everyone should know the history. But again, there is a law that whatever happened before 1947, that's a constitutional law in India, that it stays as it is. It means that if there is a masjid and there is a temple in the masjid, the temple remains as a temple, masjid remains as a masjid, and everyone has right to pray. So everybody has right to have access. I mean, that is a good thing to happen. But again, we have to think about it, that how many things you keep doing this thing. In a sense that they say that I forgot the name of that.
Ayodhya.
Huh?
Ayodhya happened, then this
No.
and Mathura.
No, but there is something where they say that before that it was not Hindu temple, but there was a Buddha temple.
Correct.
So I don't know which one is that, but so there is no end to this thing. So you should know the history, but you should not change the history, because once you change the history, then the future generation cannot learn anything, bad or good. So suppose always in the life, in the history, the good history and bad history should be learned. Say, for example, whatever happened in Ukraine is bad thing. Russia has aggressed Ukraine, but that should not be forgotten later on, because if you forget, then somebody will do the same thing again. So in order to not to repeat the mistake, or whatever in the past somebody destroyed our temple, so to remember that is bad thing. So that to remember the bad thing, and in the future nobody else can do the same bad thing. One should keep the history for the learning of the second generation. That's the one thought. There are some people they believe in that, and there are some people believe that no, if history is different, then it should be completely make it turn a change. Mm-hmm. So both are right in their own thinking.
So I think in the limited scope that we have for this conversation, you were referring to 1991 Act of Worship.
Right.
So some attorneys are saying that this place, from the point of view of mosque, is not the place of worship; it is a place for prayers. So it doesn't fall. But there are some legal terminologies, and then again. What happens, we'll see, but the situation is very complicated.
It's complicated, and of course, Supreme Court has not spoken yet, 100%.
So yeah.
So once Supreme Court speaks, then even government has a kind of right to change that amendment.
Correct.
91.
Correct. Yeah.
And government can do that.
Right.
And so let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
But I think in general, whatever history, good, bad, or ugly, should be there, so people can, the next generation, know that this was happened. That's why if you see that why there is a Holocaust museum in Washington DC, because they want to show the atrocity and genocide by Hitler on Jewish people. So so nobody else can do again same thing in the future. So that's why history has to be kind of preserved, whatever it is,
Absolutely.
Good, bad, or ugly, to teach our second generation what to do next.
Absolutely. With that objective analysis from Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, time to say goodbye from today's show. Your parting remarks.
Well, we are, as an Indian American, I'm very proud that my country is now a third largest economy of the world. And my Prime Minister is in Japan with the USA President, Australian President, as well as Japan Prime Minister. And they are playing such a huge role to protect the Asian and Pacific Rim countries. And I'm very glad that India has arrived on the world stage. Our Prime Minister is now fully recognized as a world leader, and we are very happy to see that now we have say on the world stage, and we must congratulate our Prime Minister and our government of her day. So with that, I would like to say God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American, and we'll see you next week. Till then, goodbye.